You, my friend, are about to tap into the deepest sense of motivation that you've probably uncovered in your entire life. You're gonna find a way to find motivation that is not positive. It's not the way that most people do. It is not goal setting. Quite frankly, the opposite. And if you're confused or wondering what in the world I'm talking about, you wanna watch this video all the way to the end, because I'm going to take your ideas about motivation and flip them on their head. Now, I thought I was crazy when I used to think like this until I started studying it and learning that, you know what? Humans are wired a little bit funny. And when we learn how we're wired, we can play into this motivation, and it's not the same positive garbage. It has nothing to do with morning routine. It has absolutely nothing to do with goals. This type of motivation is deeper than all of it, and it could change your life. And I know that it can help you in times in this business feeling like you're in the depths of despair, when you're at the bottom of the barrel. When you wake up those days, I want to do nothing about roofing. In fact, I'd rather drink beer, play video games, go golfing, go fishing, go hunting, hang with my buddies, hang with my girlfriend or my boyfriend, and not work. In those days when you know you're chasing your goal and it just doesn't go well, you're just running out of steam, you get beat down and you're like, why am I doing this? I'm just gonna take the day off. So if you've ever had days like that, this video is for you, and let's get started. First, a quick welcome or welcome back. Adam Bensman here, the roof strategist, and everything that I do here on my channel is designed to help you and your team smash your income goal and give every customer an amazing experience. Now, if you're dealing with motivation issues and you're watching this video, I hope you feel inspired to share it with members of your team, because you are not alone. And it's one of the reasons that I wrote my book, the best-selling book, The Roofing Sales Survival Guide. Beat the odds, overcome yourself, and win big. Because for many of us, we feel like we're alone in this business. We feel like we're the only one struggling with motivation, struggling with some depression, struggling with questioning our career, wondering why everyone else is doing so great and we're not. And when I wrote this book, I wrote my story, but really when you read it, it's gonna feel like your story. And that's what the reviews are telling me, not only on Amazon, but on Facebook and on Audible. So grab your copy right now, and I hope it really helps you survive the mental and emotional battlefield that is roofing sales. All right, let's talk motivation. Now, for many of us, we think that motivation is chasing goals. And for many of us, it's a vision board. By the way, there's a time and a place for these things, a vision board. I want this watch and this boat and this car and this house. And this is all the things that are gonna be in my life. And if I just look at it every day, it will materialize itself. Or maybe you think, hey, I'll just write goals, which by the way, you've heard me talk about a lot, because I do write a lot of goals. Brian Tracy's book, Goals, How to Achieve Everything in Life Faster Than You Ever Dreamed Possible, was one of the most instrumental books in my life. One of many, which are on my recommended reading list, which by the way, you can get inside my free training center. There's a link in the description. Goals we think are important, which my goals, by the way, when I first got started, I was gonna pay off the debt for my school. I was gonna save up money for my first house. I was gonna buy a boat. I was gonna buy a car. I was gonna find my wife. I had all these things. I was gonna make my first 6 figures. All of these were my goals. But the problem, there were times things weren't going great in chasing those goals. I just didn't have it in me. I didn't have that drive. And this started to make sense because I found drive actually looking backwards. And there's an experiment that was done on rats that proves this, and I'm gonna share it with you right now. Let me set the stage. In this psychological experiment, they took rats and they starved them. They put the rat in a tube and they took its tail and they put it on this spring that measured the weight of pull. So the rat could pull down the tube heading this way with the spring attached to its tail, and they'd waft in the smell of cheese on this end. And they'd say, hey, if this rat is starving to death, how hard is it gonna pull? What's its drive like? Now in this situation, the cheese smell, that's your financial goal. Whether it's 6 figures, multi-6 figures, your first million, your first 5 million, doesn't matter what it is. How hard will that rat pull? And they measured the pull of the rat because it didn't feel good for that rat's tail to get yoinked backwards, but they could measure how hard that rat would pull. In the shocker, most people think it must have pulled because its life depended on it. This is where things get interesting, because it didn't. But then they decided to introduce a new variable into the experiment, and they were gonna see what happened. The rat's in the tube, the rat was starving, tail is in the spring device to measure the weight of pull. The cheese waft comes in, still same results. So what they do is they put a cat at the back of the tube. When the rat looked backwards and saw the cat that would kill it, it pulled with all its might to get out of that tube. What's the lesson here? Goals are enough to get us to pull a little bit, but a fear of loss, a fear of failure, a fear of death, that is what gets us to be motivated a lot. Now, when I share this on stages when I'm speaking, people will sometimes say, Adam, that's garbage. Like, I'm driven by a goal. And I say, okay, how about this? Imagine I give you two choices. They're identical, by the way. Choice number one, if you sell 5 more roofs this month, you make an extra $10,000. If you don't sell 5 additional roofs on top of what you're already doing, you lose $10,000. Which one motivates you more? Yeah, for most of us, we're looking in the rearview mirror. We're freaked out about loss. We are more motivated about what we will lose than what we will gain. And for me, when I was in this business and getting going, what motivated me wasn't making money. I bet on myself. And if I didn't make my first sale in a matter of weeks, it was bleak for me. Bleak. I'm talking broke. And what motivated me was not, I'm going to make that 6 figures. I had my sights set in the next 30 days. I need to make money or else. My motivation came from what I could lose, what was on the line, what was at stake. The other stuff I kept in my radar, but it really wasn't my focal point. And I didn't even comprehend this until recently. And even to this day, I have goals, but what keeps me up is what could go wrong? What could I lose? And I look backwards. And as I studied this book written by Adam Grant called Originals, he calls this term defensive pessimism, looking back defensively to say what could go wrong and how do we fix it. And at the Pitch Pro Movement annual event, which by the way, the Pitch Pro Movement is my community and mastermind. You can learn more about that in the description below. Now we had this live event and I shared this story and we used the technique of identifying defensive pessimism to highlight the threats that one, from changing times in our industry could kill our business. Sales reps included, by the way, and owners. We had everybody in the room. Next, what threats internally, meaning who are you? What character flaws could kill your business? Number 3, what threats from competitors could kill your business? So we have the industry at large, we have yourself, we have competitors. When we listed all of those out, we did this exercise, it's called Kill the Company. What could kill the company? What could kill your sales? And when you look backwards at what could kill you, then you can reverse engineer a plan to stay safe. And when we approach our business that way, when we approach our sales that way, we keep our eye on the target, but we reverse engineer a plan so we stay motivated to not fail. And when we look at that motivation, just like the rat, we end up propelling forwards. And it is completely counterintuitive. Be a defensive pessimist. And my friends, don't focus on what you could get. Focus on everything that you could lose and what's in stake. And when you look backwards, your survival depends on it. And you can see why I named my book, The Roofing Sales Survival Guide. Beat the odds, overcome yourself, and win big. So grab a copy right now. I hope this helps you tap into your deeper sense of purpose and your deeper motivation. And thank you for joining me in today's video. Just because our time here is about to wrap up does not mean your and my time has to. So if you haven't yet done it, jump into my free training center right now. I've got exclusive content waiting for you instantly inside that you won't find here on YouTube, or you can hang with me here on YouTube and tap into these videos, these other videos I put together on motivation to help you find yours. We'll see you soon.